Here comes my bus.
You might want to have to put it on mute for a little bit, just in case. Hello, everyone. This is Tahuti Forever. I am the architect of MelaNation, and we're coming to you live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We just want to let you guys know why we're here, what MelaNation is. I do have my reoccurring co-host. She'll be on in a little while, Miss Lizzie Woody, to introduce herself. But while we're waiting on her to come on board, I want everyone to know exactly where you can find our company. We're on YouTube at MelaNation App. We're on Facebook at MelaNation App. And if you would like to send any gratuities, you can find us at Cash App, $MelaNation App. So again, we're here every Wednesday. And the reason why we're here is to talk to the community, to be engaged with the community, to let the community know that we're listening. We are investing in an ecosystem for the community called MelaNation. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll show you the webpage for MelaNation, which is melanation.co. It's melanation.co. Let me bring that webpage up. One moment. So this is melanation.co. We're currently under construction. The app itself has over 400 features of state-of-the-art features. But right now you can log on to melanation.co. Mela Community is a powerful all-in-one platform designed to connect, empower, and elevate the global community. From networking to business and growth, content, event, and opportunities, everything lives in one ecosystem. Building for the community, powered by opportunity. Mela Community is not just another social media app, it's a digital nation where cultural commerce and collaboration come together. Whether you're a creator, entrepreneur, professional, or a community leader, this is your home. A Post-Maafa Reconstruction instrument. The Post-Maafa Reconstruction phase begins with narrative serenity. After centuries of displacement, extractions, and distortions, our first responsibility is to reclaim the power to define our reality for ourselves. Reconstruction cannot occur while our stories are being told by outsiders, filtered through hostile systems, or reduced to spectacle. A people disconnected from their own narrative cannot coordinate their future. So, delegates. What is a delegate? MelaNation is an ecosystem ran by the community votes. The community, the users of the app, will vote in the delegates. We have 42 delegates. The delegates are the people who are assigned by the community to represent our needs. So the Mela community is a digital representation of the conscious community, placing the fate of the community back into the hands of the community itself. To achieve this, MelaNation is governed by a community of delegates chosen directly by the people. Leadership cannot be appointed from above, nor concentrated in isolation. Delegates are selected through collective decision-making, funded and staffed by the community, and empowered only to the extent that they produce measurable impact. So if you want to become a delegate, you would have to register and you would have to campaign so that people can vote for you on your behalf. Mela Movies. We utilize entertainment as a strategy gateway to reach the community at large. Culture draws us in, but consciousness keeps us together. Through shared stories, music, creativity, we gather our people, transforming attention into alignment and participation into purpose. Galvanizing the community is not just a slogan, it's a mechanism for empowerment. So again, we have over 400 pages, and we have the basic state-of-the-art features that you'd find on any other major app. So if you're interested in logging on specifically to make money, you can sell items through our Mela Market. If you're looking to come on to search for jobs, we have listings and registrations for employment. If you're a student and you want to learn a particular skill or technique, you can join our courses area to find teachers teaching in that area. Also, on the flip side, if you're a teacher, you can also find students who are looking to learn the things that you're teaching through our courses. We have a collaboratory family tree where people can help you build your personal family tree. You can ask your cousins and your grandpeople who your cousins are, and they can go on there and they can help you fill out your family tree and make your tree as large as possible and research your own history. With the family tree, what happens is, let's say you have a cousin, no matter how distant the cousin is, who's also a MelaNation user. They'll show up on your family tree, and you can click their family tree and see their latest activities that they've uploaded on their profile. So it's a very user-friendly and it's very beautiful tool to learn who your family members are. So again, the app is due to arrive September 15th of 2027. And according to the developers, we'll actually be receiving some of the downloads so we can start testing it out within the next month or so. Previously, we thought that we will be receiving the front end of the app already. However, that didn't transpire that way, and these things do happen. But we are working on it. We are one step closer every single day. Let me go ahead and show you a brief commercial for MelaNation. Give me one moment here.
The emergence of an inspired event is now on the move, requiring all hands on deck. So here's why you should share. We have substantially invested in a systematic approach to Black economics. Our mission is to empower and uplift our community, both online and in the physical world where birds fly. Interestingly, your monthly vote steers the direction of the company. Introducing MelaNation, a cutting-edge TV and an internet platform. It's making its way to the world stage with over 400 pages of state-of-the-art features. Features include movie streaming, a production studio for influencers where your production will be displayed through the television, a dating site that can be accessed through the TV, a Google Maps-powered satellite mapping system for registered Black-owned businesses and entertainment, making it easier for you to locate the community near you, and much more. We're bringing everything the community needs under one roof in order to build the proper infrastructure across the nation. Learn more on the Facebook page, family.
So yes, you can find us on the Facebook page under MelaNation App. We also have a Messenger group chat community where we're constantly speaking with each other, and we're here to listen to the advice or the issues that you may want to share with us so that we can build and we can grow. So what's our mission? Being a melanated ecosystem, what we're looking to do is uplift the family. Everyone who's part of the community, we're looking to be a benefit to you. We're bringing everyone under one roof where we can then have the power in unity. So what do we need as a part of the app that will help unify and galvanize the community? That's the question. We're investing in it, so we're going to build the app. And once the app is completely finished, we're going to continue to strengthen it by expanding the app, by continuing to keep our ears open and learning what opportunities we may still continue to have. So we are looking for communication with our community to help us find the direction that we're going to go in. Also, being that the app is a community, is driven by the community, we're able to vote on a monthly basis. So the users of the app will be able to vote on its leadership on a monthly basis. So our leadership will be constantly evaluated by people who are called assessors. People are called assessors. They will be evaluating our leaders on a monthly basis. So the assessors are people, are normal users like you, who have achieved a certain level on the leaderboard. So we have what's called a leaderboard, which gives you a numerical value based on your interaction in the community. So every time you interact on the app itself, you get credit for your interactions. So let's say you're on the app and you are just having a conversation with fellow users, or you're on the app and you're purchasing items from Black-owned businesses that are on the app, or even if you're just streaming movies on the app. Every time you activate certain features of the app, you're going to get a credit. Those credits build up and it puts you at a certain status on the leaderboard. The reason why we've done this is because we want to know who our active users are. Who are our participants who are actually engaged in the community? So the more you're engaged in the app, the higher your ranking will be on the leaderboard. Once you reach the highest levels, you become eligible to become an assessor. So you don't have to have any previous education or skills to become an assessor. You just have to be an active member of the community and reach a higher level of the leaderboard. And then at that point, you will be able to assess or grade the delegates. Now, what is a delegate? The delegate are the people who are responsible for three things. They're engaged on creating new streams of income, creating jobs for our users, and also offering community services. Those are the three things that we require from our delegates. So they are voted into office by the users. The users themselves become assessors of the delegates, but the delegates are the people who are in charge of actually making the decisions on the direction that the app is going to be going. So every month there is somewhat of a budget that the delegates are able to have access to. This budget is actually just a stimulus for the community. So the app will be producing a stimulus, be given the stimulus that the delegates have access to. And with that stimulus amount, they're responsible for those three things. So let's ask, why are we calling this app MelaNation, opposed to any other name that we could have called it? I like the name MelaNation because it really addresses a larger concept than just saying Black or African. Melanin is the chemical that's part of our structure, our genes, that gives us our pigmentation. And melanin is the one key thing, the key factor that the oppressors were looking for when they determined what box a human being should be placed in. The status of a person is going to be either potentially enslaved or potentially a slave master. So they invented the term whiteness. Whiteness meant that you're above Black. It's just a hierarchy saying that if you're white, you're above being a slave. And Blackness is a concept that was particularly created just to say that you're 3/5 of a human. You're not human. Now they've called us Black in different languages, Negro, Negro. Those terms just mean black. They didn't change. Those terms that are not different terms, it's just different languages to say black. The issue that we have is the fact that the concept of black is not, doesn't put us in a position of power. It's a tactic that they use in order to suppress us. So when we're calling ourselves black, we're falling into systematic racism. That's we're indulging within that system. So we don't want to call ourselves black. And I understand that in the 60s, we changed the word black into a term of endearment. And now, you know, in 2026, we're still using the word black as a term of endearment. But please understand, black is not a technical term. There's no nation of blacks. There's not a such thing. Prior to becoming whiteness or blackness, we were called by our tribes and our nations, Ethiopians, Nigerians. You know, we were called by our Moors, but we weren't called black or white. Black or white is specifically to determine if you're 3/5 of a human or not. That's the only reason why those terms were ever created. And we're still using that term today as a term of endearment. So being that we weren't able to name ourselves in the past, but we currently do have the ability to take control of our future. So we're going to give ourselves our own names, right? We can call ourselves the original man. We'll come up with a term that fits us based on the attributes that we want to express when we're talking about our community. But it's not going to be a color. And it's not going to be anything part of systematic racism. But we're going to make that determination together.
I'm here.
Hey, Miss Lizzie. There's Miss Lizzie. How are you, Miss Lizzie?
I'm fantastic listening to you, explain. And I love hearing you say that. I mean, for you to do this, because all that does is help me, to understand better what I am into. And I'm into it for the long haul, and to be able to, help our community grow, prosper, all of that. But anyway, my name is Lizzie. I've been here in Arizona for over 40 years, out in the community, trying to figure out, how I can help. And I've been helping by sharing information for the last 15, 20 years. And MelaNation comes along, and here I am.
Ashe, and Lizzie, I can honestly say you've been a huge help, especially at the Fam Blam, where you completely led the charge and helped us to interact with the community with our nice pop-up tent. Wait, what do you call it? I call it a pop-up. You call it.
I know. We call it vendors. We call it call it vendors.
Right.
But,
so you've always been a huge help. So how can the community also help? The community, I mean, that's what our foundation is the community. We can't do anything without the community. So people who are viewing this show, this channel, can help by sharing the video, by logging on to Facebook and joining our community, and by interacting with us through Messenger. We have so many talented individuals in our community as melanated people. We shouldn't have any lack whatsoever. We have designers, digital artists, we have attorneys, doctors. There's so many different skills that we have in our community that if we bring them together, that there's no stopping us. So as the architect, my job is to create the walls, ceiling, the floor, walls, the roof, so that we can house the skill sets that we have in our community. Right now, there's a lot of people who are creating events. There are a lot of our leaders who are leading our people. There are a lot of companies, Black-owned companies, that are prospering. But
Absolutely.
yes, the thing is that, like what Miss Lizzie Woody likes to say, is that this information is not propagating throughout the entire community. It's not reaching everyone. So everyone do not know how they can show up and show out to strengthen the community. And that's one of the things that this app is going to address. It gives us a structure that we can all pour into and strengthen every single individual who's a part of the structure. So my job is just to create the structure, but the community can help by joining and spreading the word. So I've actually explained what the leaderboard is. The leaderboard is a tool that we'll use. The top 3 users on the leaderboard will be on a platform where you can see who the top 3 people are for the month, for the year, who have been interacting in our community. So basically, you'll be acknowledged for your interactions on the app itself. You know, like on Facebook, you hit a thumbs up on someone's post, and that post becomes more and more popular. The thumbs up that we have on the app has more work. It's a different type of a tool. The more people interact with you, the higher you become on the leaderboard. So you want people to acknowledge you. You want people to like your posts, thumb up your posts, and share your posts. And on the flip side, you also want to like people's posts, because the more posts you like, the more points you'll accumulate and the higher you'll go up on the leaderboard. So it's an ecosystem where one hand washes the other. And again, the top people on the leaderboard, I believe it's going to be 800 assessors. So the top 800 people on the leaderboard will be given the ability to evaluate our delegates. So
Let me just say that you have to continue watching and listening to what's going on, so that you will realize that there is value to becoming a part of MelaNation. And you may not see it now because we're in the very beginning stages, and that's what we're working up to, where you start seeing value, and then you can say, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about.
this is true.
And this is not a competition against anyone, because anyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome.
This is true. This is very true. We're giving ourselves a platform where we can get ahead and we can fight some of the oppression that's been happening to us. You know, if we're not able to find jobs in the mainstream, then, well, we need our own ability to search for jobs specifically for our people. So yes, you can go onto the app and you can search for jobs, and these jobs are not going to be specific jobs to just melanated people, but they'll be, you know, the standard jobs that are available to everyone. There'll just be some jobs that's listed that we can search through our own tools.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And knowing that you have a place to go, that's what's very important. That's what MelaNation is all about. Creating these different aspects of our lives, but you know where you can go to find what you're looking for. That's what MelaNation is about, being that source that hopefully everyone realize, oh, I can go to MelaNation and I can find this, or if I can't find it, they can show me where I can.
Ashe. And that's a very good point. Let's say there is a tool that's needed, but it's not developed on MelaNation. It's not developed on the app. Well, that's why we're here. We're here to find out if there's additional tools that we need to invest in. and let's say the app is already out and it's launched, yet that tool is still not there, that doesn't mean that we're going to stop investing and stop growing the app. No, if we hear that an opportunity is available, we're going to invest in that opportunity to make sure that we have all the tools that are needed. That's what we're doing. We're not going to stay stationary or stagnant. We're going to continue to evolve and to grow until we address the proper needs of the community.
And realize the app is not going to be active for another year, over another year. So that means that there will not be too much that we have not tried to find, do, educate, so that we can have what people are looking for.
Ashe.
And if we don't, we'll find it.
This is true. This is very true. And like I was saying earlier, that I was speaking to the developers last week and was told the date that we'd be receiving our first receivables would have been Cinco de Mayo, so May 5th. But May 5th was yesterday, and when I reached out to the developers, they informed me that they had the month wrong. So they were meaning June 5th, not May 5th. So hopefully, yes, hopefully that does work out according to what they're saying at this point, that we'll receive some of the receivables. I'm not sure exactly which features. And of course, because this is the initial launch, initial setup, it may just be the ability to log on, and if we just, but even that ability is a step forward. So like Miss Lizzie Woody was saying, we have over a year before the app is scheduled to be launched, but between now and then, we're going to continue to make steps and grow forward. So if we have people who are communicating with us, who have good ideas, entrepreneur type people like our special guest speaker who will be coming on within a few minutes, that would just strengthen our community, right? The more successful the app is, the more successful our community is. One hand washes the other.
Yeah.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, family. What's happening?
Brother Ali is in the building.
What's going on?
So you have perfect timing. Let me go ahead and introduce my brother Ali, someone who I have a lot of appreciation and respect and adoration for in the Phoenix community. So Ali is an entrepreneur and an activist who previously worked in the financial services industry before leaving to focus on various business and community initiatives full time. Ali currently serves as the executive director of Archwood Community Resource Empowerment Strategies, ACRES. I didn't know that was an acronym. No clue. Okay, hold on. It says Archwood Community Resource Empowerment Strategies. That's fire. He's also the owner of Grassroots Bookstore and Cafe, co-owner of Straw and Wool Hat Company. Ali serves commissioner with the Central City Village Planning Committee, where he provides guidance on a wide range of citywide and local issues. Again, welcome, my brother
Welcome.
Ali.
Appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Yes. So how are we doing today?
Oh man, we're doing great. Brother. Feeling good. Feeling empowered. Feeling like we have the ability to execute on the vision and the plans that have been laid out by those that came before us. So from that regard, we're feeling good, man.
Ashe. So can you tell us what's your superhero origin story? How did you get started in the community?
Yeah. I my background outside of the financial stuff, that was like my first real job, But before that, I've always been an entrepreneur. My mom was an entrepreneur, so I've always had a passion for business and of whatever little bit of skill to go along with it. And so my origin story was finding a way to match my interests and passions when it came to business with the needs of the community, which for me was a lack of a solid foundation when it came to resources and capital. When it comes to getting the things that we need, it takes money. And so business is simply a tool that I found, that we can use to do a couple of things: to generate more resources, to put them to the things that we need, like movement work and organizations that are serving the people, as well as providing, the meeting the essential needs of the community, as well as providing jobs. And so, so it was a theory. And but for the last 10 years, we've been testing it out through Archwood, through Grassroots, through Straw and Wool, and we're starting to make progress. We're starting to see some results, and so I think that's kind of what my origin story is, and kind of where we are right now.
Okay, so it sounds like you began with a passion for the community.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So what made the community important to you?
What made the community important to me? I mean, hopefully it's important to all of us, but for me it was, just understanding the plight of our people, the condition of our people across the board. Every system that we interact with causes harm to us.
Right.
And so the more that I started to understand how deeply embedded, the trauma and the exploitation is and has been, throughout our time in America, it was a wake up call that we couldn't keep doing business as usual. We couldn't just expect things to change on their own. And so, that for me was again for me it was it was a couple of things. It's a lot of things, but what was the cart and what was the horse? If we're in a survival mode, if we don't have the things that we need, if we can't protect ourselves from the forces that are trying to do us harm, right? What is it that we need to at least keep us safe, right? To at least insulate ourselves from the system, so that we can begin the healing process, begin the building process of building the systems and institutions that we do need. And like I said, a lot of that was resources, and so that's where the theory and the action came from when it comes to this whole business development and economic justice piece. But yeah, the community, I don't. It's always been there, just being a lover and fighter for my people, for all people, and understanding the hurt and the pain, that's being inflicted. You know, some those of us who have the ability to do something about it. We can and we should, and in my opinion, we must. We have a responsibility to do that.
Shay, and I just want to let you know that I genuinely, sincerely appreciate the spaces that you've allowed us to operate in. You've created these spaces where we can pour ourselves into physically and meet each other and just interact with one another. So I sincerely appreciate that. And I've utilized the different courses that you've created, and I've come to some of the meetings and some of the lectures that you've created. And just the feeling is phenomenal, to be able to interact and just have fellowship. And we're not always on the same page when it comes to like historical ideologies and belief systems or anything like that, but we understand the plight, we understand the struggle. Yes, and the Grassroots bookstore, and I've mentioned this several times on different platforms, that's one of the hubs of the community. That's where we all can come together And from that point, we can network and reach out. So I definitely appreciate that. Are you familiar with Lizzie Woody?
Of course.
Right.
Of
She's a,
course. Who
she's
is
a jewel.
You know what? I think I've been following them around since, when they got started
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But I'd like to say, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and keep leveling up, because you're going to get there.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would like to ask, what are some of the issues that you've had getting to where you are that could help someone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The issues that we've had. I mean, one or a number of them kind of combined into one have been trying to do something that hasn't been done before, and at least in from what we've seen, right? And so I think for me, I'll just speak personally. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes the mistakes are necessary. Um,
Absolutely.
but I think the if for you ask for people who are coming alongside or coming behind. I think it's if I could do it again, I definitely would. I definitely would try to chart the course, as best as I could, and make plans and be strategic and things of that nature. It's been a very spiritual experience for me, and now having to go back and institute some of these things and establish some of these systems and policies and practice. Some of the boring stuff when it comes to business, but it's necessary, right? Your books, right? I've been doing business for almost 7 years and don't really have a bookkeeping system, right? Because again, it's just the work, right? It was something. It was a different type of frequency that I was operating on. But now, when you want to go try to get a loan or you want to go try to get an investor or something, that's the first thing I ask you, where your book's at. And so yeah, so definitely, making sure that you're checking all the boxes when it comes to building a business, building a company, or building an organization. Those are necessary elements, and it's much easier at the forefront. It's much easier at the foundation before you build it up, and then have to go back and try to fix it. Just do it right from the start.
Right. Sounds like finance may not have been your main driving force for creating the community business.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was an I was an entrepreneur, like I said, when I was younger. My mom was an entrepreneur, so that was what got me in business when I was much younger. When I first started doing business, it was like, oh yeah, I want to make a bunch of money. But when I went into the financial services world, I had put that down, entirely. I was tired of the grind, and what ultimately brought me back was my activism. So I left the corporate world, and I was a full-time organizer, and just literally working on behalf of the people. And what I the issue that I've noticed in that world is how unsustainable it is, because you're dependent on, especially if you're radical, and which I was very much so, and if you're dependent on white capital, which most organizations are, right? They're getting funded, their salaries and their all their expenses are being paid by philanthropists, who are
Right.
members of the dominant culture, right? And that's a huge liability when you want to fight exclusively for Black people, or exclusively for those who are oppressed and exploited, and you're being funded by millionaires and billionaires. And so that's ultimately what brought me back to the business an entrepreneurship space was trying to, again, a theory, trying to craft a model where community-minded entrepreneurs are connected with movement organizations and helping to make their work more sustainable.
Ashe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the idea.
I noticed that you gave the community several different titles. One was Black, and the other was the oppressed. Now we don't. And the thing is those two terms are kind of synonyms, right? They're similar terms.
Mm-hmm.
And the question here is, what's the best way to identify the melanated community? How do we target? What's our flag? What's our banner? What do we rally behind?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Yeah, I don't have I don't have an answer to that one. I mean, so far, Black seems to be the catch-all. You know, and even those who don't, you know, it seems like self-identify as Black, when it comes to us as a collective, they get it, right? I build with the Moors sometimes, and you know, with the Hebrew Israelites and the 5%ers, and you know, it seems like everybody's on the Hebrew Israelites, maybe not so much, because I know they don't. Well, I can't speak for all of them, but in the conversations I've heard, you know, some of them don't rock with Black.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, most groups, sects, factions of our people seem to, you know, identify with Black, and melanated too, but yeah, I don't have a. Once we get outside of that, I don't know if I don't know. That feels like it's like
Neither do I.
Yeah, it feels like okay, let's get free and then decide what we're gonna call ourselves.
Exactly.
That was a great point. That was a great point.
What's the quote?
I was thinking about that. It's like, we're still digging, trying to get ourselves out of that grave that they put us in.
Yeah, what's that quote? It said two people in a burning house shouldn't stop to argue. That's kind of what reminds me of.
I'm in 100% agreement, and that's why we call this session the Post-Maafa Reconstruction, because we're making a declaration that we're beyond the Maafa. We have the tools necessary.
That's right.
to be set free. Right.
That's right.
Previously, all the titles that we were giving, like minority or Black or Negro, all these titles were given to us by our oppressors. But now that we're saying we're in the post-Maafa, it's time for us to reclaim our own power to identify ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, I'm personally against calling ourselves Black. The more I even think about it, the more passionate I become about it, because how the term came about.
Right. I feel you. I feel that. Yeah, I personally like to use the original people.
Ashe.
Yeah, that's my personal preference.
Right. But you're saying we're going to meet the people where we are today. I get that.
Absolutely.
So what would you say is the most important initial steps to beginning the process of healing the community?
Wow. I mean, I think it's hard to come to the table to heal the community if we aren't healed ourselves. If we're not healed, at the individual level. I think that's a big piece of the puzzle.
Ashe.
But it's going to take us to do that, though, too.
You said that again, Sister Lizzie?
No, I said it's going to take us to do that, to heal ourselves.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I can only speak for myself and the lens that I have. A lot of our people are in a survival mode, and also in a state of despair, of trauma to the point where they may not be able to pull themselves out. And when it comes to, because that takes self-awareness, it takes introspection, it takes having the bandwidth to even do that, and to put that necessary, inner healing work in. And so I think part of it is, again, just my own perspective, and it's still in a theory state. But some of us are going to have to put in the work to
Hmm.
protect our people, bring our people together, educate our people, and provide that level of support, that level of resources, so that our people can heal. That was a large part of the space. As Brother Tahuti mentioned, having a space where we can come together, build relationships, feel at home, feel at peace. That was a big part of why we created Grassroots. But it's just one, and we're nowhere near our, the potential that we could reach. But that take, even, the little bit that we're able to do in this space, it took a lot. Took a lot of sacrifice, took a lot of investment, took a lot of time and energy to even get it to the point where it's at now. And so I think it takes a community of people who see the problems, to come together and do for our people, especially the ones that need it the most.
And I,
Ashe.
I feel that that is happening. I feel it. I don't know if anyone else does, because I'm hearing people echo the same, collaborative, cooperative, and all of that.
Yeah.
Now we have to figure out, okay, how do we make this work?
Yes, absolutely. And I
And
agree
make
with you. Go ahead.
and we're going to have to do that, together, because you
Yes.
can't be this lone silo out there doing all this and nothing's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It is happening. It's happening sometimes in silos, sometimes in pockets, but it is happening. And I think the more, those of us who are serious, the more that we come together and support each other, invest in each other, and build these efforts up, the more impact we'll be able to make, and the more hope we'll be able to give to our people, because they'll see it. They'll see, like, oh, they're working together, and not just working together to get a bag, or you know what I mean. They're working together to do more for our people.
Ashe, Ashe. And working together, right? That helps to give us more. What's the word I'm looking for? Basically means it's two individuals that creates, what is it?
Synergy,
Say it again. I missed it.
synergy.
Synergy. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Synergy, synergistic.
yeah,
So that being said, what are the key components to a systematic approach? Because a systematic approach is something that will be synergistic.
yeah. That's a good question. Um, and that's the part where, it takes it takes a really intentional and strategic effort
Mm,
to look at, okay, if these are the problems in our community, right? What they call it, asset mapping, right? If these are the problems in our community, right, whether it's poor health or the education system, or the prison industrial complex, right?
um,
Whatever system we're looking at, right? These are the issues. This is how it's impacting us in a negative way, right? What are the assets either that exist in the community, or even assets outside of our community, that we need to go and procure, so that we can actually solve this issue, right? It's a perpetual band-aid that we've had to put on the issues, but we have to get to a point where we're actually resolving something, and so we don't have to deal with it anymore, right? But again, that takes a very strategic and intentional, I think you use the term systematic approach, right? Because the systems are the things that are causing harm to us. And so, we either need to reform these systems if they can be, or we need to dismantle them and institute new systems. But it all starts with taking a strategic, in my view, it starts with taking a strategic look at, what are the different systems, and what is needed in order to address the problems within each respective system.
Ashe, and that is the main mission for our app.
Mm-hmm.
The app itself is here to be systematic for systematic purposes. We
Mm-hmm.
double up on that concept because people sometimes assume that success, they have different measures for success.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, if you're leaking tools, or you're leaking funding, or you're leaking things that could be going to a greater purpose, then that just makes the struggle even more difficult.
Absolutely.
So our concept is to have our ears open to find out what the opportunities are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, is to keep our ears open, regardless of people are joining us or not. It is the system that's important. Make sure the system is functioning, making sure the route to communication is open, the doors are open. And that's why I call myself the architect, is because I'm not here to facilitate the actual business movement, financial resource. I'm not here to facilitate any of that. I'm here to make sure that the walls and the structure, so that others can come in who are called to lead our people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yes,
my
sir.
whole concept and my purpose is simply to be systematic for systematic purposes.
Yes,
And
sir.
we can bring our leaders in, and they'll have a strong bucket to pour into.
Yes, sir.
So it's real difficult to find out what the key components are, but one of the main components is definitely listening and being adjustable.
Yes, sir.
And let me just say
Hey.
this. I feel that, we're talking systems, we're talking, all these things that we need. I feel that one of the things we need is we need to make sure our people are informed and educated, because they are the ones that, that we're doing this for, as far as the community. But if they don't understand what's going on, you're not going to make too much of a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
And with technology, and this is going to be a long journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
And
you're spot on.
consistency has to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why this is so powerful, what you all are building, because we know that the power structure does not want to see a united Black community, or melanated community, right? They do not want to see a liberated melanated community, right? And so there's a ongoing, consistent, and aggressive campaign to confuse, to divide, to manipulate, and so trying to consistently educate people on what's real and what we need to know and understand is like you said, is very difficult, because we're trying to overcome all of the noise and the news,
Yeah.
everything else that's constantly being thrown at us, not even mentioning, you know, what's not even real anymore, right? Most of the things that we're seeing are completely manufactured. It's AI, and you know, or it's people who are just making up things on social media just to keep people engaged and keep people, you know, stressed out. And so, you know, we definitely have to find a way to cut through the noise and to inform our people, to unify and galvanize our people, around what's real, you know, around
Okay.
what's really happening and what we really need to know, because it's concerning that we don't know. We can't, at this stage, we don't know what's real and what's not. Right? When something, if you're scrolling on social media, you have no idea what's actually authentic. And when it comes to us trying to, especially for those of us who are, you know, who are tapped in, and we're trying to understand what's happening with our people, we're trying to understand, you know, what is being done to our people, what's being done for our people. You know, it's hard. It's going to become increasingly difficult.
That's why
Does
the numbers count. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
have to have a collective of people doing that and on the
yeah.
same page.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I believe that can happen, and I believe it is happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I think there's a beauty in the struggle. It's definitely going to be a learning curve,
Yeah,
but the opportunity that we have in order to grow and to come together is just a beautiful thing.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's always going to be the
Okay.
outcome.
So, and you've done, you know, many beautiful events on frequent basis, and you brought together so many people. And a lot of times I'll go to like some of the lectures, and someone will stand up and they'll ask, where do we go from here? Like, how do we keep this momentum going? So that's what the nature of this question is. How do we bring the community together? But we said sort of stick, right? So that we can make movements in the same direction.
Yep. And it started getting a little muffled, a little choppy. But if I understand, the heart of the question is where do we go from here? How do we bring community together and focus on action? Is that kind of
Ashe.
just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Man, that's a it's a big question, but it's also a small question, because the community is made up of people, right? Each of us has our own passion, our own interests, our own strengths, um, uh, and our own experience. And if each of us were to take inventory of what, again, I only speak from my own personal lens, right? My own personal experience. If each of us were to take inventory of the things that we're most concerned with and the things that we have to offer and we have to contribute, and bring that to the table, and unify on those ideas, and unify on those needs, and unify on those contributions, right? I think we will start to see something take place where we don't have to pick, because there's conversation. A lot of conversation I see is it's hard to pick what's the thing that we're going to focus on, right? And we don't have to pick one, right? We don't have to pigeonhole ourselves into, is entrepreneurship the thing, or is criminal justice reform the thing, is electing people to office the thing, right? Each of us, we, at least those among us who care enough and are serious enough, just need to take inventory of, what can I offer? What am I willing to contribute to the struggle for freedom, and the struggle for liberation and empowerment for Black people, And if each of us were to take inventory of that and be serious enough to take the step toward action, we would see amazing things happen. And the only reason I can speak to that is because that's my exact experience. I was not a community leader. I was not I did not come from any type of lineage or out of the church or any of these like established channels where people come into power in the Black community. I just was concerned. I just cared enough to step outside my front door and see what I could do. And my strong urging is for people to be in organization, some type of organization. But if there's not an organization that aligns, you could start one, or you could just get together with other like-minded people. No promotion here, but the bookstore is a great place to do that. It's to connect with like-minded people who are concerned, who care enough to do something about it. That's one of the reasons we're starting some book studies, because book studies are a great place to start that organizing process. But it really starts there, right? And studying, right? I'm in a very deep historical research mode right now, and one of the things that Fred Hampton said that sticks with me a lot is you have to start with the education, right? Because especially now, people are fired up, they're emotional, they're angry, and rightfully so, right? But if you're not educating yourself on the history, you're not educating yourself on how these systems work and why they're, pointed and causing the harm that they are, then you'll run off half-cocked and cause more harm than good, right? Like the brother that was out, I think it was in Philly when the ICE protests were going on. He talking about he gonna put a hole in the ICE agent and all this other stuff, and it got people excited. But that's very dangerous. And he was using the name of the Black Panther Party, and that was a big, a huge liability, right? Because they can start rounding up members of the Panther Party, anybody that associates with the party, saying, you're threatening government agents. What are you doing? Sorry. So the education piece, taking inventory of what it is that you are, what your focus is, what it is that what you're most concerned about, what causes you identify with, and then taking inventory of what you have to offer, right? And for everybody, like we just said, a lot of people are in a survival mode, so not everyone is going to join the movement and be out organizing or be on the front lines, but everybody can offer something, right? Whether it's you writing letters, whether you're making a small financial contribution, whether you're whatever, helping somebody on social media, right? Everybody has a role to play. And so I just am of the strong belief that right now, those of us who care, those of us who are committed, it's going to take a very personal, introspective analysis on what can I do,
Right?
what can I offer to actually, again, to change something, to bring an end to this long struggle, right? That's the type of introspection that it's gonna take, and us coming, those of us who are serious, coming to the table, because the pieces to the puzzle are there. We know that, but it's just gonna take an intentional group to sit down, to focus on it, analyze it, and to really put in the work.
Shay, I'm not sure if my microphone is glitchy. Can you hear me well?
No, I keep turning mine off, but it's still happening. So
How's my sound? How's my volume?
It's a little glitchy on my end.
Let me switch mics.
What's up, baby? Yeah, that's for y'all. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, everything's good. No.
Am I glitching?
Yeah, you're a little glitchy as well.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Let me
Sound
try
like
some.
somebody's eating chips or something.
That is true.
Let me switch to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi.
So yeah, I go to grassroots just to re-energize my energy for my people. Just being around our people is energetic. So I'll go there just to center myself again, and I try to definitely support Black-owned businesses while I'm there. But yeah, Grassroots Bookstore. If you're ever in Phoenix, Arizona, you have to visit. Come down to Acres and Archwood. Come down to First Fridays. We have so many different vendors and events that offer every different type of service. So if you're ever in Phoenix, definitely come down, come out, and support the melanated community. Miss Lizzie Woody, she has the opportunity she goes around and she introduces the community to different businesses. That's what she's been doing for so long, and that's why she has the title of the PR representative, because that's her calling in life. So we just acknowledge the work that she's done, and we want to make sure that she's being known for the work that she's done.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I
We
do
appreciate
appreciate.
you.
Well, thank you very much. I did want to hit on something when we were talking about, um, the things that we need to do better. I'm
Yeah.
thinking that, with Melanation, with our Wednesday, we're here every Wednesday. We're going to get a plethora of people talking. And what you're talking about, Ali, I'm just saying those are things that people need to hear. So, I'm sorry.
1 2 1 2.
Yep, you're clear now. You're good.
I got no sound.
Oh no, you're glitchy. No sound. Interesting. Lizzie,
Oh,
can you
he
hear me?
can't. Can you hear me?
Let's see. You may want to log out and log back in. Like go out and back in, out and back in, out and
I
back
got
in.
nothing.
If he can't hear you.
Let me type it.
I can't hear.
Go
Give me
out
1 second.
and come back in.
He went out.
He's not out yet. His video's out though.
Oh,
He's still. Let me just kick him off. Maybe he'll come back.
we're
All
gonna
right.
get this. We're gonna get this better when we have our own.
This is true. We're using our own platform. So, yeah, he switched his internet, and in midstream, so kind of made things a little problematic. But I'm sure that once he logs back in, then he'll be probably right on time. But Brother Ali is one of the people that has been doing the work in our community and has made major strides in affecting the culture of Phoenix. He's one of the people who've done that. It's not too many people I can say that their efforts have impacted the culture of the community. Brother
Okay.
Ali is one of those people who has that effect where his efforts have actually trickled out to so many people that I can now say, and I can tell people who are visiting, you want to go here because that's our culture, you know. So we can no longer say we can't say we don't have culture if we can pick out certain people, certain businesses, and certain communities, and we can say this is our culture here.
Oh, absolutely. And also the fact that, as I was saying, with us doing this every week, we're going to tap into some of those other folks that's out there that we've probably never heard of, saying the same thing, but, unless you got the ear of someone that understands what you're talking about and coming together to say, okay, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? So, but yeah, a lot of it has to be spoken because a lot of it we don't hear people saying it, but when people start saying it, then you're going to get a collection of folks that said, you know what, I've been thinking the same thing.
Test,
Right.
test.
Clear, loud and clear.
All right, all right. I'm on my computer.
Cool.
All right. So, Sister Lizzie, you were asking a question, I think, but it cut out.
No, I was saying that, well, one thing, we have to speak it. We have to say things that, that are on our mind or that we feel, we need to say. A lot of times we don't say it, but once you say it, you'll find people to say the same thing as saying, I was thinking the same thing. But if you
That's right.
don't say certain things, you'll go on the rest of your whole life and not, um, have different opinions, and actually you can come together to resolve or to minimize whatever.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, this is true. So I was telling people while you were gone about the different locations that you have, and you sometimes you speak to the community live, and you tell them about the experiences that you are going through on that day or had that week. And I watch them, because I'm very interested and invested in the community as well. So, can you tell us what you've learned by serving the community?
Oh man, we don't have time for that. I'll just kind of try
The
to think
top,
of a
the
few.
top two or three.
Yeah. What I've learned, man. So again, like I said, I've been on this deep like historical journey, watching documentaries and reading and listening to speeches and stuff like that. So I'll say one thing that I've learned that in relation to what I feel like may resonate or be beneficial to the audience is we our condition is not our fault, but it's certainly our problem. And right now we're fully in a phase, but even more so coming into an even worse one, where people don't care, especially the dominant culture. They don't care about the history. Matter of fact, they're trying to cover it up. They're trying to hide, what they've done to us. But they don't. In other communities, they're getting theirs. And so we, as much as we've done, as much as we've been through, we really have to come together and determine what steps we're going to make to secure our future, and to put ourselves in a position of not just of power, but just a position of peace. Um, I look at what this government is doing, and how they're just unapologetically moving throughout the world
Mm.
and causing all this harm. And I think about all of the steps, all of the actions that led up to this reality that we're seeing right now, where this president is, is not able to be held back by anything. Somebody asked him, like, can anything stop you? And he said, basically, just myself, right? But all of the things that it took to get there, from COINTELPRO to the assassinations to everything, right? And so when I look at where we are, we have all the pieces, but we really have to take a very serious look at the steps that we're going to take, again, to put ourselves to strengthen ourselves, because we're not in a place of strength right now. And I know everyone wants an overnight fix. I don't think an overnight fix is going to happen, right? But that shouldn't stop us from putting in the work.
Right.
That shouldn't stop us from taking the steps, again. And I only can go off of my own journey. And we're not a shining example, and we're not, by any means where we're trying to go. But this is a 10-year journey that we're in, right? So everybody right now, something is shifting where everybody's like, man, y'all are doing it, man. I love what y'all is. Y'all got this, y'all got that, y'all got that. This is 10 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
10 years in the making, and a whole host of people coming together, putting egos to the side to say, we want to do something for our people, right? And so for those of us who want to see more, who want to see us in a position of strength, a position of power, a position of peace and freedom, right? It takes work. It takes a long-term outlook. It takes consistent work every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been one of the main things that I've learned, especially in this season right now, where things are finally starting to fall into place. Things are finally starting to click. It's like, damn, this is 10 years in. Right? Like, that was the thing. Like, damn, okay, what I'm saying? I wish it would have been nice if people were there at year 2 to be like, man, I love what y'all doing. How can I support? But now people are showing up.
Right.
And then the other thing that, what was the question? I've learned.
What have you learned? Let's see, by servicing the community.
Yeah, what have I learned? I think I'll keep the other one sweet. Just like I said before, we got to educate ourselves. The education has to be there. People want to have their face in the naming lights and all the other things that come along with leadership. But serving the community, to me, it starts with love, unconditional love for the people, and then taking the time to educate ourselves on how these things happen and why these things are happening. Because it's not rational. None of this stuff that's happening to us is rational. Locking up that many people and the violence that happens, and none of this stuff is rational, right? But it keeps happening for a reason. The more we take time to understand why it's happening, will give us a greater likelihood of actually stopping it.
Right. We definitely need to move with intention and purpose, like you were saying, having a strategic outline for our goals and how
Yeah.
we're going to accomplish those goals is definitely something that's very important. And you've mentioned a lot of the issues that we have in the community. So what is it that kept you going this 10 years? What keeps you going through adversity?
Man, like I said, the history. Before I started getting involved in the community, and like I said, when my education process was understanding what those that came before us did, the sacrifices that they made, what they went through, and so for me, what keeps me going is two things. One, thinking about what they sacrificed. Right. One of the brothers who's here, he was a political prisoner for 51 years. He's teaching a class next door.
Wow.
He was in the Panther Party. He was a political prisoner for 51 years. And so I asked him that same question, not that question, but like, what about his sacrifice? And he was like, we didn't look at it like sacrifice. He said, we just looked at it as something that we had to do.
Mm.
It broke me down. He said it with a straight face. I was like welling up behind the eyes. And he was like, even with my struggle, my sacrifice, he's like, when you compare that to the struggle of our people, it's nothing.
Right.
Right. And so for me, that's the only thing that I, find solace in is like I said, the two things is, one, I'm not alone in this. It's gonna take sacrifice. It's gonna take struggle in order for us to get there. But the other piece is the piece that probably is even more of a motivator is I feel like we're close. I feel like we're very close, and having the hindsight that we have, having the abilities and access and resources that we have, and the abilities that we have to execute on all these visions and all these plans that have been laid out for a very long time. That's also what keeps me going. That's also what makes me very committed to the work that we're doing. This is work that's been in progress for hundreds of years, and so I'm not about to give up now. All the sacrifice and all the work that's been done.
That's
What
what
do I
I'm
look
talking
like?
about.
What do I look like? What do I look like quitting? Just because it gets a little hard. And I got Bronza sitting next to me. He was locked up for 51 years. So that's what keeps me going.
That's a very powerful statement. Just identifying the work that's been put in and understanding when they're passing the torch. We can't put it down. How is that even possible? All of the struggle that we've gone through, right?
Man,
It's impossible.
This is legacy work. Imagine, we get to greet the ancestors, and they're like, "You quit? What happened, man? We was waiting on you."
Ali,
Yes.
tell me, what do you guys have coming up that you can talk about that's kind of exciting for you to either wait or tell?
I can't talk about it.
Huh?
I said I can't talk about it.
You say
No,
you can't. Well, just give us something.
Give you something. What can I tell you? Well, we're working on a home for businesses and organizations, and this is going to be very vague. I'm going to just tell you that right now.
Okay.
We're working on building a home for businesses and organizations in the community to get all the resources that they need.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Shay.
There we go.
Absolutely.
I can tell you what it's called too. This is fresh off the press. It's not out yet. It's the Archwood Resource Collaborative, the ARC.
Whoa, that's nasty.
That's as of that. Yeah, we thought so too.
Woo.
Yeah. So that's as of today. We just came up with the name today. So you're hearing that before anybody.
That reminds me that Ali is one of the first people that I introduced the concept of melanation to. He might be frozen now, but I put together a presentation. He's back. I put together a presentation and I went straight to Ali. Ali, here's my little presentation. Let me present it to you. Let me know what's missing. Can you clean it up for me, brother? And
How long ago was that?
That was 3 years ago. I'm not
Wow.
sure. It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, Ali was the first person I introduced the concept of melanation to. Yeah, as far as my presentation.
That's right.
And
So-
here we are. And here we are.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
How about success? How do we know if we hit the mark? How do we define success?
And from what as a community, as a individual business, what do you mean?
You
Just
personally.
want to clarify.
You personally, if it's let's say you personally business wise.
Got it. Right now, I define success by the growth and success and development of people around me. That's my only success that I'm striving for. So my team, I'm working to take care of them, help them get where they're trying to go. My family, making sure that they're provided for and protected. I'm successful. I can't ask for anything else. So just trying to grow the businesses, but the businesses are going to grow through the people.
Ashe. So what motto do you live by? What's your motto?
What's my motto right now? I've probably got a few, but right now I feel like my motto is, if it is to be, it's up to me.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa. I'm stealing that.
I don't even remember. I got it from a children's cartoon, but I was like, yeah, that's powerful.
So I'm gonna ask you one final question because we've reached towards the end of the session here.
Okay.
So, and it's just if you can speak to our audience, if you can speak to entrepreneurs, people who are looking to become part of the community, or people who are looking to build foundational wealth for themselves. Just speak to our community, and yeah, we'll go ahead and end the live after that.
Okay. Whew, okay. So for people who are looking to build businesses, I'll start with that group. We have to, I think in this season, I can only speak to those who are trying to build business for more than this themselves, right? If you're trying to build a business to get money, more power to you, but I don't have anything to offer you. But for those who are trying to build something for our people, whether it's creating jobs, whether it's creating wealth, creating opportunities, to help move us forward as a community, as a people. We need people who are going to be committed. We need people who are going to be relentless. That's just the truth of the matter for where we are right now. We have to be serious. We have to maneuver, be willing to maneuver and do whatever we need to do for our people. right? That's just the attitude that we have to have. It's unfortunate that, you know, all of the harm that was done in the past, instead of there was a period where it seemed like the dominant culture was trying to resolve it and to try to recover and to try to, you know, make recompense for all of that. Now, again, like we said, we see that they're going in the opposite direction. It's like they don't care. And so we have to have that same type of mentality, that same type of outlook when it comes to doing for ourselves and doing for our people, right? We have to, and we have to work together. There's no way for us to make up for everything that's been taken from us without us working together. In you know, it might have to start in small ways, right? But in small ways will lead to big ways, right? And so as you take inventory of what it is that you want to do, what it is that you're good at, think big, right? Let's think beyond, you know, wherever we have to start at, let's start, right? If you have to start at a farmer's market, if you have to start at a, you know, as a vendor, or start at a, you know, wherever you have to start at, grassroots bookstore started in a corner, right? With a bookshelf from a bookstore that was closing down and a bunch of used books from my house. Straw and Wool started with hats from Amazon, and
Really?
and Henry was selling them out the trunk, right? So
Wow.
you have to start wherever you have to start, but don't let not being able to start where you want, where you feel like is ideal, be a reason why you don't start, right? The sooner you start, the sooner you start to learn, right? So we have to get out there. People will forget mistakes. People will forgive mistakes if your heart's in the right place, right? Like I said before, we've made a lot of mistakes with Straw and Wool, with Archwood, with Grassroots. We made a lot of mistakes. People don't remember any of them, especially now. People can't tell you, they can't recount, oh, they sent me the wrong this, or oh, they made my drink wrong, or oh, my hat was too small. Nobody remembers any of that stuff, right? But now that we're 5 and 6 years in, the simple fact that we started, right, now we're able to, you can figure it out and you can make progress, and we can bring people in to show, hey, we got something here. We got something that works. And so get started, fail fast, fail often. There's no true failure, just lessons. Each thing is a lesson, and the more we learn, the better and stronger we're going to get. And you know, and just be prepared for the fight. You know, this stuff is not for the faint of heart. None of it is. And so just be prepared to fight. Be prepared to pull other people in. Yeah, but keep our, you know, always remember to keep our people at the forefront.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
While you're doing it.
Shay, Les Brown has a saying, fail your way to success.
That's it. That's it. That's the only way to get to it. It's foolish to think you're going to do something and not make any mistakes.
Shay, this is true.
Great things have happened because of a mistake.
That part too. That part too. Absolutely.
Progress is a process.
Progress is our most important product. That's GE, General Electric, years ago. Mm-hmm. That was their motto or whatever.
Yeah, Jack Welch.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I just asked if that was Jack Welch that said that.
Oh, really?
No, I'm asking. I didn't know. He was the legendary CEO of GE for a long time.
Oh, see, I don't know who. I was trying to do some research.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like learning is a very empowering thing, and it feels good, you know, knowing that you're at a place that you wouldn't have gone if you hadn't stumbled, if you hadn't taken that first step and found out it was the wrong direction. So It's a
Yep.
beautiful thing. And that's what I was saying earlier. As a people at large, we're in prime position to create the most beautiful things.
We are.
We're here now.
We
Or
absolutely
by
are.
us to us.
Yeah, and the truth is, in my view, even as bad as things are, it's only pushing us together. All right,
Absolutely.
it's only gonna push us together to unify quicker, to unify, much in a much stronger way, a much more sticky way that won't just fall apart.
Yeah.
So and unify, with not just among our own people, but unify with others, right? I look at what's happening in Iran. Man, that was a beautiful thing for them to see them talking about Black revolutionaries and
Oh, right.
Nipsey and Malcolm and stuff like that, and they're like, we're going to war with the Epstein class. That type of fight that they have. I was like, it inspired me, and I don't get inspired by a lot. Like that fired me up.
Yes,
Mm.
indeed.
So and that's why I say that's the thing is, I think we are the what they say the Dr. King say the long night of humanity is close to coming to an end.
Precipice. We're at the precipice.
That's right. That's
Most
right.
definitely.
That's right.
All right, Brother Ali. I'd like to definitely thank you for coming out. I appreciate
Thank you for having me.
the services that you've done
Thank
to the
you.
community.
That was my pleasure. Thank you both.
I'd like to thank
You-
everybody for coming and watching. And again, we're here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. In between time, in the meantime, find us on Facebook, on Messenger, MelaNation App, and we'll be here next week.
Absolutely.
Thanks, y'all. Thank you.
Love and peace. Peace, brother.
We'll be checking back in on you.